From Shannon Sharpe's bold prediction of the Nuggets going 4-0 to Shaq not counting out the Heat just yet, here are the NBA pros predicting the NBA Finals between the Nuggets and the Heat. For starters, Shannon Sharpe isn't playing around at all. He thinks it's going to be a sweep in the finals by Denver, and that's a very bold prediction. Now, don't get me wrong, I agree the Nuggets are the superior side, plus a sweep lets us see Skip Bayless make a meme out of himself again, as he takes on yet another unpopular opinion by saying that the Heat are going all the way, but Sharpe isn't holding back. He was asked about the finals, and he made it clear that as great as the Heat have been, there's simply no matching this Nuggets team. Sharpe believes that there's no way Nikola Jokic does not show up in the finals, and is backing the two-time MVP to put in a consistent performance throughout the series, the way he's done so over the course of the playoffs in 2023. Shannon also threw in a backhanded compliment saying that he doesn't think Jamal Murray is all-star level just yet, which fans didn't agree with, but is still backing him to shine in his purple patch and take the Nuggets to their first championship. He's not the only one with this opinion. The Nuggets are the overwhelming favorites for the NBA crown. Oh yes, as far as recent performances and form go, the Nuggets are unstoppable. They were by far the best team in the West during the 2023 season. And if not for their decision to rest players toward the end of the campaign, the Nuggets would have finished with the best record in the league as well. Denver and their coaching staff saw no benefit in overplaying their stars during the regular season, when clearly they'd finished the job they came in to do. But as dominant as the Nuggets were at full strength during the regular season, they took an even bigger step in the 2023 playoffs, improving their form and becoming a lot more dominant to make it out of the West unscathed. They were spotless. Look at how easily the Nuggets dispatched the Minnesota Timberwolves. Sure, it wasn't the toughest of challenges, but the Timberwolves had shown a lot of quality against the Lakers in the play-ins, and were unlucky to not close that game out. Their deep roster should have achieved a lot more than it did, and had they started the season in the same form they ended it in, Minnesota wouldn't have been taken on the Nuggets in the first round. Still though, all the form goes out of the window in the playoffs, and that's why they seemed set to be a banana peel for the Nuggets to start their playoff campaign. What they didn't know was that the giant in the mountain had no plans of messing around in 2023. He was joyous and casual as ever, don't get me wrong, but was a lot more lethal than his usual self that year in the playoffs. Jokic put on a masterclass to destroy the T-Wolves, and they could only record one solitary consolation win toward the end of the series. It was a dismantling display, yet the media downplayed the Nuggets, claiming they still hadn't proved themselves against better opposition. So the next test came in the form of the Phoenix Suns, also the favorites to win the West in 2023. Looking at the table, you might mistake them for having an average campaign, but on trade deadline, the Suns had completed a blockbuster move, adding Kevin Durant to an already super team in the Valley of the Sun. Everyone expected the Suns to be one of the last four standing in the playoffs, at the very least, and even the pros on TNT and Undisputed believed that the Nuggets would be no match for the Suns. I think the first time anyone truly took notice of Denver as serious contenders was in the second round, when they destroyed the Suns in a brutal manner in the first two games. Credit to KD's men for pulling through in Arizona as they forced the issue and leveled the series from 2-0 down. But that's what makes this Denver side so lethal. They seem to have a dozen gears. For a team that has little to no experience in winning big games, they play like postseason veterans. They hit the Suns back hard, winning the return game in Denver and also dominating them in Phoenix to send the Suns packing. That complete display made them favorites for the Western Conference Finals, but still there were many who didn't want to bet against LeBron James and the Lakers. That was the second most impressive thing that Jokic and the Nuggets, under the impressive coaching of Michael Malone, pulled off. Not only did they comfortably defeat the LeBron-led Lakers, but they dominated them in every single facet of the game, sweeping the 17-time champions 4-0 to earn themselves a well-deserved rest ahead of the finals. But at one point, it felt like both the NBA finalists of 2023 would get a similar amount of rest ahead of the finals, because the Miami Heat had powered to a 3-0 lead against the Boston Celtics. And everyone knew the series was more or less over, with Game 4 set to take place in Miami, but chalk this up as another reason why the Nuggets are being backed by pros to go all the way. The Heat gave up a 3-0 lead in the conference finals. Credit to them for winning Game 7 in unusual circumstances, but after going 3-0 up, there was no reason to make things this hard for themselves. Okay, sure, no one expected Derek White to make that shot in a split second, but this clearly shows that the Heat have a lot of weaknesses. They're a very good team and have possibly written themselves in NBA history with one of the toughest runs to the finals. Fun fact, did you know that the 2023 Miami Heat became the first 8th seed in a full NBA season to make the NBA Finals? It's a mad achievement. They didn't even have a lucky playoff run. The Heat came through after defeating the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round and informed New York Knicks in the second before edging through the Boston Celtics in the conference finals. To put it simply, it's been an immense carry job from playoff Jimmy. And that's why the majority of the neutral fans are behind Butler and the Heat to go all the way. Honestly though, playoff Jimmy was nothing but a joke not too long ago. In 2023, it became an actual thing. Butler doesn't agree with that take. He thinks he's just as good during the regular season too, but as all of us know, that's not true at all. I think playoff Jimmy Buckets is a top 10 playoff player, at least of the 21st century, if not all time. And winning a ring in the toughest manner ever would immortalize him in history forever. As far as Skip Bayless is concerned, Jimmy's got enough in the tank to bring a championship back to Miami. Oh yeah, the controversial analyst has made his big prediction ahead of the finals, and he's aboard the Jimmy Butler train. Bayless believes that due to Butler's heroics, the Heat have the mental edge over the Nuggets in the finals, and they'll prove to be much tougher, both physically and mentally, compared to Denver. Conventional wisdom doesn't quite agree with Miami's chances, but we'd be kidding ourselves if we said that anything about Butler is conventional at all. On the topic of wisdom, well, Bayless is more fueled by agendas rather than wisdom, although Skip did say that Erik Spoelstra, being a successful playoff coach, will give the Heat the edge. And that's certainly true. Spoelstra and the Heat have been on this stage many times before. The Nuggets, on the other hand, won their first ever conference title in 2023. But they can take solace in knowing that almost everyone out there expects them to win. Take a look at CBS Sports' expert panel, which consists of 8 experts, and all 8 are backing the Nuggets to win. That too in a convincing manner. Well, history suggests that much too. Time for another fun fact. Did you know that the last time Miami won a game in Denver was back in 2016? And Jokic and Jamal Murray both came off the bench in that one? Yeah, it's been that long. But Shaq doesn't care about history. He thinks Butler and his men should not be taken lightly. Big Shaq knows a thing or two about playing and winning finals, doesn't he? The 4-time champ thinks that mainstream media is counting on Miami, and that's not a good idea. He accepts that the Nuggets are the favorites ahead of the finals, but has issued a warning for Denver to not count out the Miami Heat. So from Shaq's warning to Denver to Shannon Sharpe's bold prediction of the Nuggets sweeping the Heat, these were the NBA pros predicting the 2023 NBA Finals.